So if you've decided you want to become a property investor, then you should know that this sector comes with its fair share of setbacks. A lot of wealth has been accumulated from real estate and property, but even those success stories started off with some failures. Property investment is not for the impatient. You have to be patient. If you are looking to make money quick, then more often than not, you are likely to be disappointed. Let's get to the 5 deadly sins in all their glory, or rather in their shame. Number 1, purchasing the first house you come across. Have you ever gone shopping to an outlet and just bought things on impulse? I know I've done it a few times, and more often than not, the stuff that I buy on impulse, I tend not to wear as much. See, this jacket here took me a long time to buy, so I wear it with pride. Back to property. Or perhaps someone asks you to join in on their emotional purchases. Well, as an investor, you cannot go buying houses on impulse. You must base your purchase on facts and figures. That means sitting down and going through what I love doing, which is using a spreadsheet. I'm sure you've heard about a guy who bought a building believing it was one for him, only to flip it and end up retired on an island somewhere having fun. Developers and wolves disguised as homeowners can fool first-time buyers and investors. And they don't do it on purpose, by the way, because they're trying to get the best deal for themselves. You've just got to get the best deal for yourself. Therefore, do not be charmed by them. Stay strong, soldier. You can work with a developer who can turn out to be a big disappointment. In fact, a big old disappointment. Their empty promises will lead to an empty house, which will result in an empty bank account for you, and it all ends up in tears, and I don't want you to go there. So make sure you consult with a professional, otherwise you may be going in blind, especially if you're new, and that could mean pain. Number 2, and I've said this before many a time, is not doing your research. Ask yourself the following questions. What is the purpose of purchasing this specific property that you are looking at? And this may take you time to answer, but it's a good question to ask, and the answer is going to help you gain clarity. Number 2, are you going to rent it out, or are you planning to sell it on or flip it or live in it? Who are you? What is your purpose in life? No, I'm just messing with you. Don't have an existential crisis. Make sure you know exactly what your intentions are when you're looking to buy a particular property, and go through this exercise every time you buy a new additional property. Think of it as dating, and the building has an angry, protective father. That ought to bring a sense of responsibility. Sorry to break it to you, but it will not be easy for you to start your own rental management business just like that. It is hard work, but it's rewarding. It is by no way a small feat. My preference and advice would be that it's better if you go to an existing company and let them handle all that for you, so you can focus on the next deal, on the next purchase, on the next project. There are way too many factors for you to consider, from the market to tax incentives to planning, development, what's happening in the area, the location, the type of home, and of course financing above and beyond all the other regulatory requirements. And of course, inspecting a house should also be on your list. And as always, you will require the services of professionals, because you're a professional property investor, so you use other professionals for the things that you can't do or ought not to do or don't want to do. Number 3, getting your hands on the wrong type of financing. You've heard the saying, never bite off more than you can chew. And as cliche as that may be, there's a lot of wisdom in it. And if the global recession has taught us anything, it is exactly that. You may be tempted to go for a huge loan, but that may in itself be the cause of your failing and failure. Fortunately, some of the new banking regulations make it harder to get a loan you cannot repay, and rightly so. Nevertheless, poor financing can come in the shape and form of how you are going to pay it back. Rising inflation can come for your head, and that is never a good thing. To get it absolutely right, and I think you have to get it absolutely right, you require the assistance of an experienced mortgage broker, in my opinion, although of course you can go directly to some lenders. A broker will look at the whole of the market for you, especially a good broker, and will give you the right advice. Number 4, going all by yourself. Alexa, play All By Myself by Celine Dion. Trust me on this, this is not a solo mission, and I talk from experience. You are not Liam Neeson and don't have a particular set of skills. You are not Liam Neeson and you don't have a particular set of skills that are that vast. Or maybe you do, but you still can't do everything in your profession on your own. And why would you? Why not use other people and leverage? That's very important. Ever since YouTube has been in existence and it's come into our lives, everyone suddenly feels that they are an expert. I exaggerate, but way too many people think they're experts when they're not, but that's for a different day. After watching a few videos and doing some research, you might think, or others might think, well, that seems pretty easy and straightforward. I'll have a go myself and I'll save a bit of money on the way because I'm quite smug and smart. When going to buy a property for the first time, you might think about cutting costs here and there and not trying to overspend, and that's understandable. But when it comes to hiring professionals, do not think about saving money on their fees. Think about how much money they're going to help you save and make. That's better. Don't negotiate with them and try and save a few pounds here and there. Negotiate with them about how much more they can do for you in terms of adding value. Think about the time and the money they can save you. Can you really afford not to use them, as opposed to can you afford to use them? Here are the people that you will be needing assistance from on a regular basis if you're buying property. A property solicitor, a property accountant, a mortgage broker, possibly a quantity surveyor, a project manager depending on the type of work you're doing, professional contractors, subcontractors, electricians, plumbers, so on, so forth, estate agents, letting agents, the list goes on and on and on. And if you do not get these people, it's going to be chaotic, especially if you're looking to scale up. So leverage, again, is the important word, and not the fun kind of chaotic either, by the way, the headache inducing kind. And of course, one of the most important professions which I've just mentioned to you is a good property lawyer. Unless he's Matt Murdock himself, it is better to find someone with good eyesight.
I'm a really good lawyer.
When you deal with large sums of money and complex contracts, depending on what you're doing, your lawyer or solicitor will be a big help, and they should be experienced in doing that type of work. It doesn't matter if this is not your first rodeo. You need a good solicitor to build a solid financial foundation, and they can help you navigate your way around the law and how to do a property deal properly from a legal point of view. Number 5, quitting. Now, for the deadliest sin of all, giving up. Quitting, thinking you can't do it anymore or you don't want to do it. Pulling at Homer Simpson. You should not give up simply because the first deal you made did not turn out well for you. There are plenty of property investors out there who will tell you that more than one deal went badly for them, and that's just the way the business works. And just because you've done a bad deal doesn't mean you should stop. You should learn from that and build on it. Money gone, hearts broken, glass shattered, the whole dramatic scene which you can picture. Giving up, in my view, would be the worst mistake possible, because you can always recover and you can always learn from your mistakes, and you become bigger and better over time. Learn not only from your mistakes but from others as well, so leverage their mistakes by making sure you don't repeat them, and try again and again and again until you get there, because when you're about to give up, you're one step away from success, whatever success may mean to you. Now, many first-time property investors end up being last-time property investors, but those who keep and have kept going have a different tale to tell. And it's up to you in terms of which tale you'll be telling? A story of success or a story about quitting? Let me know in the comments below how you plan to avoid committing these deadly sins. That's all for now. Until next time, where I explain to you why Jonah Jameson was right about Spider-Man being a menace.